Thank you very much for joining us today, and welcome our special guest here, Dr. Daryl Hodgkinson, world-renowned facial plastic surgeon who's kindly agreed to join us on our Ask Me 5 Questions video series. Now, Dr. Daryl Hodgkinson is a highly sought after and well-respected plastic surgeon who was trained at the prestigious Mayo Clinic, has licensure and specialty recognition as a plastic surgeon in 3 countries, including Canada, the United States, and Australia. He's highly respected, and after 30 years experience in the industry, he's regularly asked to publish and present on his findings in plastic surgery in general, including his specialties, facelifting, facial rejuvenation, and rhinoplasty. Thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Steve, for that kind of introduction. It's very nice to be here. Thanks for asking me along.
Great. Now, after 30 years in the industry, what motivates you to keep coming into your practice every day?
Well, I've got to say I'm very fortunate. I do enjoy coming into my practice, and I think I'm lucky because my field is a very vibrant field, and there's new things happening all the time. And the other thing is we've developed a very good team here. And some of my staff have been with me over 20 years.
All right.
And so the other thing is we have a fully licensed accredited day surgery hospital here, and a team that really enjoys what they do and getting the results. And I'm kind of the skipper of that team.
Sure.
And we get along very well. We're very fortunate also. We have very nice patients. And I enjoy getting to know them and helping them with their life.
Fantastic. Now, as I mentioned, one of your specialities is performing facelift surgeries. What's some of the more common, I guess, reasons that people choose to have a facelift procedure?
Well, I think most people these days know about non-surgical intervention. When they start to age, their wrinkles, they're sagging, and they get to a point where they probably realize they're not getting the value out of the non-surgical procedures.
Right.
And they start to look for something more permanent and a little bit more dramatic in their results. So that's when they start to think about a surgical approach. And of course there is nothing more powerful and that can give you the result other than surgery. And so they seek out an experienced surgeon to discuss the options that there might be for a surgical answer to their problems.
Sure, sure. Okay. And has there any sort of maybe surprising benefits that people weren't anticipating after undergoing a facelift surgery?
It's interesting. Because the benefits are the positive feedback that they have, not only from looking in the mirror, but from the other people around them. But something interesting recently is that studies have shown that they actually have patients have more energy.
Right.
And actually, they did some studies on brain and the centers where energy is, and they found that these post-operative patients from facelifts had more energy.
Right.
And so some patients have said, oh, they've got their mojo back.
Right.
So I think that's kind of mojo means probably energy, all sorts of energy that they think that they've got back. So that's a positive things.
Right.
And people do move on to achieve things that they didn't think they could quite achieve. They felt they were being held back. So I think one of the benefits I feel is that listening to the sort of things they've achieved in their life. And so I really enjoy them coming back and telling how the result affected their life positively.
Right, great.
That's great.
Oh, fun. Now we're filming this video here in your practice in Double Bay, Australia. Tell me, what makes your practice unique?
Well, I was the first one in Double Bay 26 years ago. And I had a lot of experience practicing in the United States, where we had what we called office-based surgery. So I was quite experienced at building day surgery hospitals. So when I came back here, there wasn't that paradigm of how to practice. So I was fortunate that I was able to use my experience to build a day surgery over 20 years ago. And so it was specifically designed just to do plastic surgery. And so in 20 years of experience working here with my team in the day surgery hospital, I think it's probably the best investment I've made for the patients to be able to produce the quality results that they want and that I also want.
Sure. Yeah, I imagine that is a great benefit for your patients.
It is, not only in their privacy, also even in the cost. but just the quality of the results and the whole experience that they have. It's a lot. They're looking forward to it rather than dreading going to a hospital and having an operation.
Yeah, I'm sure. Right. Now, are there any sort of new modern techniques when it comes to the facelift procedure? Things that we might not be aware of?
Well, certainly there's something new coming along, seems to be all the time.
Yeah,
of course,
right.
we had the endoscope and we had lasers and that sort of thing that came into the industry. And then the deep plane surgery about 15 years ago. And so many things have evolved in the 30 years I've been doing practice. But something new is always seems to be coming up. And one of the newest things we call it the net. And what it is, it's a way when you're finishing the surgery of stitching of the skin in such a way that you reduce swelling and you would improve adhesion and reduce the chances of bleeding post-operatively. Right. So that just came in really about a year ago, and I had the good fortune to go to Brazil where the innovator was working, and he let me scrub in work with him for a whole week. And so I was very grateful to have that opportunity to integrate that new technique into my practice. It will benefit the patients.
Right. Wonderful.
Bit different.
Right. We'll be looking out for that. No, that was the end of our 5 questions. If you don't mind me throwing in one cheeky final question. I know we've dragged you in here on your day off.
Yes.
If you weren't here, what would you be doing?
Well, I'd probably be sailing or scuba diving, but it's not perhaps the best day for that, so I was glad to join you today.
Okay, great.
so thanks very much for inviting me in today. I really enjoyed the conversation and the questions.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again at the next video of our Ask 5 Questions series.